Hi, folks. This is my man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. We got a lot to talk about as per usual, and I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope this broadcast finds you well. So, I want to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. I don't want to go totally over and over into Epsteinio, but so many nauseating, unbelievable things are being reported, and people are being exposed. And hey, we were right about a great many things. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the pace of things, why things are happening the way they are. And it's called the Great Awakening. And there is a reason, I believe, Mark Kelly is going through what he's doing with the courts. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. A lot of things. We're going to talk about a lot of things, folks. This is a map of the attacks that have happened in the last 24 to 48 hours over Ukraine by Ruski land. And the week-long ceasefire, Sunday to Sunday, was over, and they came back with a vengeance. So peace is knocking. Zelensky, who happens to also be mentioned in files. But anyway, what do I do while people are coming in? Give them time to get a cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or maybe an adult beverage. I play videos. That's what I'll do. And then we'll do what? Be like butter and get on the roll.
The fact is that all you need to do to determine sex is a cheek swab. If you're an XX or an XY, you're either a boy or a girl. It's that simple. This isn't complicated. It's not like we haven't known what women and men were for not just a matter of years, but decades and centuries and thousands of years before that. The fact that we're having this conversation and this debate just absolutely epitomizes the left's ongoing effort to rewrite the English language in order to change the debate and destroy civil order. Cisgender is a made-up word. Cisgender that means nothing. Do not call me cisgender. I am a woman. This gentleman sitting next to me, he is a man. That's who he is. That is what our title is. That is what we have been described throughout history. This bill does nothing to prohibit men from competing in men's sports. I will repeat, this bill does nothing to prohibit men from competing in men's sports. It does prohibit men from competing in women's sports. It is that simple. All we have to do is look at what happened during the Paris Olympics, where we watched a dude beat the hell out of a woman in a boxing match, and we have people on the other side of the aisle who actually believe that that is okay. That man is not a woman. He has been tested repeatedly. That is a man, and he will not be allowed to compete against women in the future because he is a man. We do not want men beating up women. We do not want men in women's soccer or volleyball or basketball or rugby or swimming or any other athletic competition. This isn't difficult. All you need to do for any kind of determination for sex is a cheek swab. The fact that you guys are talking about doing these inspections of people and the fact that the Boxing Association used to do that, that's sick.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. We're watching quite an awakening, aren't we, folks? We're seeing people pay attention to Archbishop Vigano, Archbishop Vigano, my apologies, where he called out many famous names years ago. He actually got excommunicated. I might copy one of his videos and play them for y'all. We can do a little reaction commentary for Father Vigano, right? Tammy, how you doing, sissy? Nice to see you. Todd's here. Nice to see you. Who all's rolling in? Tammy's here. Todd's here. Sissy's here. Randy, nice to see you. Robin. All right. Cole's here. Elva, nice to see you. Miss Mendersu, nice to see you. Who else is rolling in? All right. Let's see. How many of you all been watching these revelations? It's revelations to a lot of people, but not to many of us. Oh my, it's evil and gross. Nice to see you, Linda. Who did I miss? Pappy Two Bears, nice to see you. Everybody's rolling in. Yeah, a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it if you do. It helps the video get around. Make sure you do that for me. And I want to thank Hilarious too. I'm seeing if they're in the chats tonight. For going by buy me a coffee and helping an old man out. I do appreciate it. Along with everybody that helped out this week so far. Miss Mendersu. Didn't you help out? Sure did. Let's see. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Anybody in there lurking? Wayne helped out, and Mike and Bev at Buy Me a Coffee. Also this week, I do appreciate it. Let's see. So who's that on the screen? Many of you know. Many of you know, and many people that don't know will soon find out. This person is a some kind of spiritual advisor, if you could call it that, to the we used to want to say elites or the illuminated or the illuminati-nated or illuminati-nated. I don't know. They're a bunch of creeps. And, there are people that are shocked because they're hearing about PIZZA. And I'm wondering, do I have to keep on talking in code, or is it going to be now that the Epstein files are out and there's so much that is coming out to be factual, and they can't really say, oh, it's misinformation. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. You can't post that. We're going to take your video down. Do it again. We'll take your whole channel down, just like they did my first channel. 300 and some videos in the trash pail. Well, I did save a lot of them, but on Rumble, hello to my Rumble crowd. Make sure you hit the follow button. And, yeah. Is this one of the posts I want to put up? Yeah. Get ready for this. Let's see. Isabella Maria De Luca. What do you got to say, Isabella? More than 3 million pages from the Epstein files are now public. Cannibalism. I gotta watch that word. I gotta watch all these words. But that's what's in the files. Cannibalism. Isn't that how you say it? I'm doing that because whoever's doing the physical reviews on YouTube, I think they're over in Punjab somewhere. Somebody named Barut or something like that. Figure that one out, what I'm saying. And then R with an 8 behind it. And Redrum. And P, 3-dophilia, right? That's awful hard for somebody from another country to figure out what I'm saying. P3-dophilia. So, anyway, hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me get this all. But anyway, she says, they investigated and raided a literal squirrel before a single person on the Epstein client list. Remember that? Who was the squirrel that got, well, they euthanized the squirrel. Can't have nothing. Some guy had a pet squirrel, and they came and took it, and they eliminated it. So let's see, what was that? Today, Utizel was causing issues. I heard that, yeah. Still got to be careful. Hi, Mac, how you doing? We still got to be careful. Roland, nice to see you. And I will, I hope. Yeah, Peanut the squirrel, Tammy, that's right. And they had these people doing these things. There's pictures I've seen on YouTube of the John Podesta art. Some things some big streamers put up. I don't know if that's gonna work out for them. I don't know. I'll be careful. But anyway, email saying, I really enjoyed the torch and then right, video. And remember, we were told by Pam Bondi and others that material showing actual loss of life, I'll put it that way, are being withheld. So that, to me, seems like they exist if they're being withheld. Am I right? Somebody actually perishes on the video. And also, things are being withheld that are currently under criminal investigation. So there's a lot of people losing sleep. And isn't it funny that right when this I'll say the Epstein dump came out, that the Clintons came with their hat in their hand. They're trying some kind of stunt, but it ain't gonna work. I'll get into that with some posts. But what kind of reactions are you witnessing from people? And the Clintons are one of them. You're hearing about the Clinton Foundation. You're hearing about money ties. You're hearing about all kinds of stuff. Archbishop Vergano laid it out real well in a video. And I remember I wanted to do a collaboration with another creator. Hi, K&S Cleanup. How you doing? About Vergano's video. Well, he's done a number of them that are very blunt and matter of fact. Naming the Podestas, naming the Clintons, describing who and what they worship, what kind of things they engage in. It's jaw-dropping, but things we knew. I mean, jaw-dropping to the uninitiated, not to the people who've had their ear to the ground, such as ourselves, or most everybody in the chats, right? So I started the video off with Harriet Hagerman talking about men and women's sports. In other words, this transgender movement that has been spawned. That's also been mentioned in the Epstein files. Epstein's emails himself, where he's trying, emails he made himself to medical professionals about transitioning people as young as 3 years old. We're finding out that they were experimenting and researching cloning. We know about the New Mexico ranch. Is that where it's at, New Mexico? We know that he was involved with multiple females trying to procreate. And we see Zoran Mamdani's mommy, with Epsteinio. So Mamdani's pedigree is being examined. Our leaders are selected. It's got to come out in a manner so as to give people time to digest and accept. But how many times have I mentioned these two here? Our leaders are selected. How the hell did these two guys end up running this country? And ain't it funny that right when they got into power, ensconced for the second term, on a pledge that they supported the Defense of Marriage Act, they had the gall to do that. Then, once they won the second time, we had this transgenderism push. So, don't be fooled by a number of things. Don't be fooled by people who are going to peddle that it's all Mossad, that it's all the J and then EWs, right? No, it's not. No, it's not. There are players in the evil one's cabal in every group. They've infiltrated, just like we heard Satan's smoke had infiltrated the Vatican. Any government, any organization of any consequence, these demons are going to take root. And their acolytes, their proxies and acolytes. Some of them may very well be Jewish. Some of them we know would be Masons. Some of them will be part of the Catholic Church. Some of them will be part of the Episcopalian Church. On down the line, any group you can mention. So don't be fooled into pointing a finger at one group, because then you don't keep an eye on all the others. Groups, every group can be infiltrated. Human frailty, human weakness. So, anyway, before I go on too far, I don't know how those two guys get in there. Can y'all tell me? I get them off of here. You guys want a picture of that? Put in your... I got it. That's nothing I can do about it. I took the picture. I'm just looking at the chats. Oh, yeah. Moloch, Baal, whatever they want to call it. It all goes back to Satan. That's what I was saying. The Marxist ideology is nothing but a tool of Satan. God gave us free will. Communists want to take away free will. The devil wants to take your free will, and he wants to prosecute you. He's the father of lies. He's also the number one finger pointer, pointing at people. Look at you. Shame on you. But anyway, just want to put a word out for Savannah Guthrie, her mother. Have you all been keeping up with that? Donald Trump put out a post that, is this it? Let me see. I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know that I'm directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy, President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, they accuse her, Todd. That's right. So it is a horrible story. And I watched her video with her family. Oh, this is the wrong one. Let me find it. A video she put up with her family. I didn't copy it to play it. It's just tough. It's tough to watch. It's, I believe, sincere and heartbreaking, of course. Many of you know that they had the footage of spots, red spots, if you know what I'm saying, on the porch outside. Somebody was injured. Oh, I think it's when I move pictures around, Roland. I think it's when I move pictures around. Yes, it's bizarre, Tammy. Very weird. Anyway, I'll show you some things about that in a minute. But Nick Sorter put up, Savannah Guthrie seems to believe her mother, Nancy, is being held for ransom and says she's ready to talk. Guthrie posted a video message to her mom's hostage takers. We need to know without a doubt that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. So please reach out to us. This is horrifying stuff. Say a prayer for the Guthrie family. And, I had a meme that's locked away in my corrupted file, one of the early ones of Donald Trump and Samantha Guthrie saying, "Is it true that you're trying to take down a satanic P3DO file cult? Remember that? And I know one thing. She appreciates the prayers. She said so. How many times have you heard people on the left saying, we don't need your thoughts and prayers? Well, you know what? When something horrible happens and you need God and you need prayers, you appreciate it then, don't you? So we all hope for a good outcome. But yesterday, I was watching different streams. I watched JLR. Many of you also do. Breaking news. But anyway, he put up some pictures of the, let's see, son-in-law. Here's one of them. Now, there were reports yesterday I saw his picture. Yeah, I don't want to judge people, but we all judge people one way or the other. Here's a picture of him. I guess that's with Samantha's sister. I forget her name. That's with Samantha's sister. And right away, you look at they say that he's one of the ones that was last with her before she disappeared, or the last person, or one of the ones. So right away, I'm like everybody else is, man, that's an odd looking duck. So this morning, they were talking about the blood stains on the porch, and that they had cleared the crime scene and let the family back in. Then there were some other reports about something that got them to fly a helicopter over the house today after they closed the house down for a crime scene. That told me that she may not be far away. And his name's Tommaso Cioni. They were saying he was the primary. They played around with their words a little bit. Possibly the primary suspect. And I have not heard any statements from him. Of course, he wasn't involved in the family video I just showed you a screenshot of. But many times, situations like this are unintended. A loss of temper, a conflict of some sort, something bad happens. You got to do something. And maybe the ransom story was an afterthought to cover up for a loss of temper or some other act of passion. I don't know. It doesn't seem very well planned. And I think things are going to happen very quickly as far as resolving this. And my instinct is that, she's 84 years old. And it to be injured like that, to where you're profusely losing blood, I don't know. So anyway, but to tell was the helicopter around the perimeter of the house in nearby woods. Now, the story is that they want so much money in crypto and that they disclose things that only people at the scene would know about something specific in the house that was broken, what she was wearing, things of that nature. Miss Mendersu, I said hello to you at the beginning of the broadcast. Or are you talking to somebody else? Ha ha, you talking to Roland? Oh, you're talking to Roland. Roland, you better pay attention. Miss Mendersu saying hello to you. Ha 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 ha. How you going to get a date like that? You can't even say hi to somebody. Ha ha ha. But anyway, so now it could be a planned thing. It poorly executed. But then again, you leave in your mind that things may not be as they seem. You know, how many times people say, oh, it was a break-in, and they stage a break-in after they're drunk, angry, and they hurt somebody or end their life. What do? Stage a break-in. Something happens like this, so what do? Oh, somebody kidnapped her. You know, so I don't know. We shall see. Ha ha, yeah, Miss Mendersu. Wake up, Roland. There you are. Okay, there he is. All right, Roland, sorry about that. Put some hearts in. Oh, he got roses in there. All right, that'll work. So, so anyway, we got more stuff. I'm going to put that up in a little Libs TikTok. Speaking of the Epstein thing, Sky News Australia, not to be confused. See how I drag a picture and it breaks my voice up? Not to be confused with Sky News, period. Sky News Australia, pay attention to that instead of Sky News. But anyway, please marry me. Shocking emails from Sarah Ferguson to Epstein. Boy, how do you like to marry that? Huh? Ain't that something? Hadn't we talked about how when people get a little demonic jolt or whatever, their looks change? Now, I know we all get old. I got a face like a road map. But I'm talking about the something about their demeanor, their looks, their face, that you feel something a little demonic. But anyway, there's emails from another member of the royal family. Just gross. One of them, I didn't copy it, but one of them referred to, she was talking about her own daughter in an email. And she said, my daughter's out on a shagging weekend. Talking over the internet to other people about your own daughter. You know, remember the spy who shagged me? You know, a shagging, Michael Myers. But anyway, more and more people are turning up. And there's an executive, is it CBS? Who's getting canned. Where is it? He getting fired. Here he is. Another big shot at CBS. CBS News expected to fire contributor. Oh, he's just a contributor. After Epstein email revelations. CBS News is expected to sever ties. I've never heard of him. Peter Attia. After following newly released emails that details his past communications. So anyway, goodbye. I have that one, or I can get that one video where ABC News suppressed that reporting years ago. She had it all. Powerful people, big names. and they squashed the story. Anyway, I want to talk about this real quick. Where'd he go? I saw him in here. Where did he go? Here, this creep. You know, we get frustrated. We hear a judge did this, a judge did that. Judge appears likely to side with Mark Kelly in case challenging Pentagon's efforts to punish him over illegal orders video. Of course, what he did was horrible, dangerous, ridiculous. A federal judge appears likely to side with Mark Kelly in the Democrat senator's case alleging the Pentagon, the Department of War, the military, is violating his First Amendment rights through its effort to punish him over the urging of U.S. service members to refuse illegal orders. He was stirring crap. Hi, Joshua. He was stirring crap. We all know that, right? So my instinct at first blush was to say, dang on these judges, we need to get rid of these judges. You know, the letting the kid out because he had a Spider-Man backpack and they're boo-hooing over that and not comporting with the law, whatever. Well, I think there's a reason for this. A reason for this case. And the reason I think it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, or I think he will take it to the Supreme Court, and I think he's going to lose. And why do you think that's an important decision to have hashed out in public right now? Because the long and the short of it is, I think when the time comes for military tribunals, JAG and trials through the military, we want an open road. We don't want, just like we're having every foggy day dealing with some immigrant that's supposed to be gone and they're dreaming up crap to make them stay. I think this will set a precedent that inferior local district judges cannot interfere with military protocols, military law, military contracts. You know, he's getting paid. All right. He was on reserve. Hi, Victor. How you doing? So I think it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court and it will get slapped down and it will cement helps cement the wall between military justice and civilian justice. So go ahead, Kelly, and maybe it's an assignment, maybe, because when he did it, he looked so stupid and it looked so outrageous. We were thinking, why would he be that damn dumb? Well, maybe it's part of a operation, and I know he's a lefty. But maybe he's done something where he needs to play ball to help with the show. Anyway, however it turns out as far as where he appeals to, he's going to lose. And it's going to harden, it's going to set a precedent, and it's going to harden the existing relationship between civilian and courts, the judiciary and military justice. So I'm not worried about that. I think it's part of educating people. And so when it comes time to have, some of these people are going to be facing military tribunals. And they're going to have an avenue cut off. They can't pick some lily-livered, limp-wristed federal judge to drag things out when the military is involved. Does that make sense to you all? Because some of this stuff has to be handled by the military. Hi, Brett. Debbie, how you doing, Debbie? I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anything. I didn't. First time I hadn't given out a shout out to a Debbie at the beginning in a long time. But anyway, gotta get some Debbies in here. So anyway, all right. I got a picture of my basement steps. What? I got to get that out of here. How in the world? That's going down to the hardened bunker. I can't show that. Anyway, let's see. Trump signed a bill ending the government shutdown. Well, really a partial shutdown. So next week, we're going to be voting on the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act. And we have this turn of the tide. Like celebrities like Nicki Minaj asking people, are you stupid? Why would you not want voter ID? So it's really going to shake out who is on our side and who's not when the SAVE Act comes up. I don't know what the outcome will be. But the government still is open. It's going to be open until September. So we'll see how it plays out. But the SAVE Act is coming. Something else got taken care of. This creep right here. I think I got a video about him. Life in prison. I don't see a bunch of lefties dancing around for him like they did Luigi Mangione and all these other ne'er-do-wells and nitwits. But anyway, guess who the judge was? No goggling. Anybody in the chats know who the judge was? And wasn't that a quick trial? Remember me saying that these trials should be done quick? Like Luigi ought to already have he's not even eligible for it, but he should get stretched in the upper vertebrae below the cranium. That should all get stretched out quick. Nobody guessing who the judge was? Where's Angel? I hadn't seen her either. She'll come back, see us. Huh, really, Roland? What did you didn't say anything out of line, did you? Ha, ha, ha. So anyway, who was the judge that handled this case so quickly? I don't see any guesses. Trump assassin gets life in prison.
Dana Marie McNichol is live for us outside the courtroom in Fort Pierce, Florida with the latest. Dana Marie.
Hi, Harris. Just seconds ago, we watched Ryan Ruth leave the courthouse right behind us. As we know, life in prison plus 84 months. Now, the 84 months are tied to the counts that did not include a life sentence. Now, for a little bit of color, Ryan Ruth, he addressed federal judge Eileen Cannon one last time, but it really didn't seem to sway her. We heard a lot of the same arguments he presented during his trial, where he acted as his own attorney. He said that his goal was to stand stood up for his country, that he had good intentions. Of course, Judge Eileen Cannon responded from the bench saying, quote, "You intended to kill and you would have achieved your goal without the brave Secret Service agent Furcano. It was clear this was premeditated and a calculated plot to take a human life." She then went on to mention that he did it with precision and intent to kill. She says, "You are not a peaceful man. You are not a good man." Now, remember, the last time we did see him was for the verdict in the courtroom, and it was absolutely chaotic. Right after he learned that he was guilty, he tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. So today, he was surrounded by 4 federal U.S. Marshals. He was also shackled at the waist. His wrist was shackled at that waist. So that's really what we saw inside that courtroom. According to the producers inside the courtroom, as he was leaving, he blew a kiss and winked at the gallery. So that was pretty interesting. We did notice that all of his family members were missing. We just heard from his attorney that said that they do plan to file an appeal. And that's pretty much the latest out of the courtroom here in Fort Pierce. The 2.5-week trial we covered last fall. There was a lot of theatrics involved, but this is the end. Life in prison plus 84 months.
Dana Marie McNicholas.
Yes, Judge Eileen Cannon. Judge Eileen Cannon. Out of here. Put him in jail for life. Plus 84 months. God, I'll let him out once he corks off. Don't stink the place up. But anyway, yeah. Goodbye, Ryan Ralph or Ruth or whatever her name is. We're not going to miss you. So anyway, there's nobody taking up for him. Hi, Graybeard. How you doing? Really, I'm looking through the chats there about Angel. You're right, Miss Minnesota. I hope it wasn't her. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. It's really appreciated. Oh, I was going to do this at the beginning. I changed my description. I said link for channel support in the chats, and I was going to put it in the chats. I'll put it in now. So anybody wants to help the channel out, I put a link in for Buy Me a Coffee. And I said thank you earlier to Wayne, Mike, and Bev, Miss Mendersoo, and Hilarious too. So for helping out this week. Wow, the first week is going by like a flash. So anyway, here we go. About the Clintons. I need to get another copy of that post I had from Fox News where it talked about the Inspector General report about Haiti and the Clinton Foundation. And it was underlined in red. Crimes against children. So anyway, Comer rejects Clinton's testimony offer. They tried to pull some stunt where they were going to have some kind of protections or a limited subject matter. I don't know. Unreasonable offer. Representative James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, is rejecting what he calls a last-minute special treatment offer from Bill and Hillary Clinton to cooperate in the committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation, just days before the House is expected to vote on holding them in criminal contempt of Congress. So they're wiggling around. Now what he's done is, I got a video of him. He's, I think they have to go twice now. Twice. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a minute here. I'll root it up. But anyway, I'll play when I come across it. Boy, the old videos that are going to pop up that got people banned, got their channels taken down, man, that are just wild. About movie stars, their involvement in the Epstein mess, politicians, all that stuff is going to start coming out. It's like I said a long time ago. It was going to go from a drip, drip, drip to a fire hose. A fire hose. Here we go. Laura Ingraham. Have Comer tell us what his plans are for the Clintons.
Of how Bill Clinton likes to relax in hot tubs. But soon he'll be in the hot seat, different type of hot seat. He'll be joined by his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. They're finally agreeing to testify in the House Oversight Committee's Epstein investigation. They didn't want to be held in criminal contempt of Congress, it seems.
I think it's a shame, to be honest. I always liked him. Her, yeah. I hate to see it in many ways. I hate to see it, but, then I look at me. They went after me like, they wanted me to go to jail for the rest of my life.
House Oversight is saying
both Clintons agreed to have transcribed.
I'm just going to mention, Trump said, oh, I hate to see the Clintons have to testify. I hate to see that. Just like he said, nobody wants to see those Epstein files. No, there's nothing in there. And y'all need to quit asking about it. No, he wants them to testify. And yeah, we got the files out. So anyway, here we go.
Filmed depositions at the end of the month. Here to tell us more, the congressman has been trying to get them to testify for what, years? Congressman James Comer, House Oversight Committee Chair. Congressman Comer, tell us about how this went down, because last week it was they were not coming to testify. They give you the big stiff arm.
Yeah. Well, they didn't think that any Democrats would support this, but the Democrats on the Oversight Committee met with the victims, the Epstein victims, and they want everybody that's photographed with the victims, anyone that's spent a lot of time with Epstein or Maxwell. They want everyone to answer questions, and unlike President Trump, neither Clinton has ever answered any questions about Epstein. They've never done a sit-down interview. They've never talked about it. And obviously, they didn't want to come in front of the Oversight Committee. We had a markup for contempt when they missed their date that they were supposed to testify. And to their surprise, a majority of Democrats on the Oversight Committee voted with all the Republicans. Then they spent a week trying to intimidate me and say our subpoena wasn't lawful, and then try to get the Democrats back together to not vote for it, to make it a partisan vote, thinking they could beat it in court if it was a partisan vote. And there were several Democrats that were going to vote to hold Bill Clinton in contempt for not showing up for subpoena. So that's how we got here. They knew they were going to be held in contempt. They knew when Steve Bannon and Navarro had been held in contempt happened to them, and they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, so it's not a question. It's not a question whether they're going to testify. They are going to testify.
They are testifying.
And for people who don't understand the process here, I assume you would have preferred for this to be public testimony, but I imagine a good lawyer would negotiate this behind closed doors. Was that a deal breaker?
Well, no, it's going to be public because we're going to record it. There'll be an audio, there'll be a video, and there'll be a transcript. So every American's going to be able to watch the entirety of this.
But didn't they offer to do it in public?
Yeah,
they
said they would do it. They said they would do it. Well, they want a hearing.
Then why not do it?
Well, they want a hearing, Laura. And anyone who's ever watched a congressional hearing where you go 5 minutes for Republican, 5 minutes Democrat, Democrats and Republicans are yelling, a substantive interview will be conducted through deposition. If they want, after the depositions, to come back for a public hearing, then my members on the Oversight Committee would love to have the Clintons in a hearing. But the subpoena and the contempt was about them blowing off a deposition. And we're going to have each Clinton in for a day-long deposition. Then after that, if they want to have a hearing, Laura, they are more than welcome to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee.
I'll be in.
Congressman, thank you. Great to.
So they got themselves where they could possibly be there twice. But what they wanted to do was do these patty cake hearings, where Democrats spend 5 minutes talking about how wonderful they are, and Stonewall, but what they really have to show up for first is a recorded deposition. Have you ever been to a deposition? What are you doing, Roland? Are you trying to start a OnlyFans? Take your shirt off. What's that all about? But anyway, no, they got to do a deposition, which they made Trump do a deposition on the E.G. and Carroll crap and all that. So anyway, then he said if they want to have a hearing after that, fine, we'll get another bite at the apple. But which I don't think they'll do. I think they'll do deposition. That's going to be it. They're going to want to get their tail between their legs. Here's how they treat people. Scott Bessent was in front of the House today. Let me see. Let's see. Is this the one? Which one do I want to play first? Let's see.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increase.
I'll play that one in a second. Here's the one I think with Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters. You're not welcome anytime, anywhere.
Claiming my time,
was a mass unfettered immigration.
Mr. Chair, will you let him know that when I ask
immigrants
time does belong
to the housing
woman
stock.
from California.
10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentleman's time has expired.
No, my time has not expired.
Your time has expired. And the gentleman...
The gentleman took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Well, if you Chair,
parliamentary
inquiry.
The chair recognizes the vice chairman of the
Mr.
committee,
Chair,
Mr. Heisinger.
Parliamentary inquiry. Go right ahead, but I would not expect you to do that.
They want to be rude. They want to interrupt. Here's a mouthy one right here. Let me see, which one is it? Trying to put him in a trick box. Where'd it go? Here. He's trying to answer a question, and she's being rude and mouthy. Maxine's illegitimate stepsister from a third marriage or something.
Of appropriated funds, Treasury will be.
Is this going to be a yes or no?
Program awards
Mr. Secretary. No.
Possible.
I'm going to abide by the chairman's rules, but I have some rules. You can say yes or no, and then if you say yes, you may continue to give that support. If it's a no, then you tell me why not. And now we need to be clear. Yes, let's start with the yes or no. I'm trying to be respectful, but you're not going to do what you want to do on my time. Yes or no, or you can say I'm not going to answer it. Now move on.
Number 3.
Okay, so let the record show that he refuses to answer a question. No, we're not going to do that with me. We are not going to do that with me.
It's the gentlewoman's time from Ohio.
Now, you opted for number 3, so you get to hear my wrath that you refuse to answer a question under your authority and what this administration, and yet you've talked about the value of housing, and you're not releasing the funds, and I want the record to be clear on that. So let me move on. Mr. Secretary, I've asked you, as your predecessors, Democrats or Republican, Jack Lew.
The gentlelady's time is up, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they try to get him to do these, it's a yes or no. Did you stop beating your wife? Yes or no? So anyway, here's the one where he tells them at the end they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increases. I would also note that housing, especially for working Americans, a Wharton study has shown that the mass unfettered immigration, adding 10 to 20 The million new people demanding housing, Congresswoman, is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and the Biden administration should be ashamed.
Which is also...
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think we're on track for things to come together. I'm hoping. Before I talk about ICE, Tom Homan said they're not backing down and they're going to go full steam ahead. I want to talk a little more about this Epsteinio business. How many of you all remember? I mentioned a couple of times, and it's been as far back as maybe 3 years ago, that I said that there were stories that a van pulled up at the jail, and it was a person opened the door, was in a military outfit, olive drab, and they brought Epstein out in a wheelchair and put him in the van and were left. And some people said, I never heard that. I remember when that came out. That was like 8 years ago, that story. Maybe not 8 years ago. But anyway, it was mentioned in the files. The same story. Somebody posted it anonymously. I think it was on 4chan. But in the files, this person has been identified. It wasn't somebody making a SH and that's it post. You know what I mean? Wasn't somebody just goofing around, stirring the pot. It was an actual corrections officer. But here's what he posted one day. When was that? 8/10/19. So yeah, it was about 8 years ago. That's what I said, wasn't it? When I first heard about it. Not saying anything after this. Please do not try to dox me. But last night, after 415 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair. Front cuffed. But not one triage nurse said they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up? ? We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself? ? Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I'm shaking right now, but I think they switched him out. So people were saying, oh, it's just somebody posting to create a story. Well, it was an actual employee. Let's see. Is this one of the emails here? Yeah, let me see. Or is it said, let me see. His name is Roberto. Am I allowed to say this or will I get in trouble? It's at the top of the screen. All right, that way I won't get. There it is. Highlighted. I can't pronounce that name. That's my excuse. So I'm not saying his name. Ha ha ha. But anyway, that's his name. That's who he is. An actual guard identified, and he didn't do that post. And he was actually shaking. So here. From Peter Thiel. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what to Jeffrey E. Certainly not in Saudi. I just think I will avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so. Should be back on East Coast late April, May, sometime in New York City on island then. As you probably know, this is Jeffrey. I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in management can do something in tech. Best client in the world. I got a question for you all. What does this term mean? Prehistoric products? It can wait. Prehistoric products. It can wait. Good luck in China. I'll be in Europe again, blah, blah, blah. Then the island. If you want to come around the world going west, come to the island. Or if you would like to meet in Saudi at the end of the month. See what I'm saying, folks? Epstein himself pointing the finger at the JEWs, laughing about it, talking about goys, but had a Saudi passport, spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia, and was buddy with that prince who ended up hanging by his heels and got overthrown. That was the same time Epstein met his fate. Yeah, all the pictures, there were problems with his ears, problem with his nose. So anyway, here's a video that was Epstein is tangled up with selecting leaders, okay? It looks like he's tangled up with breeding leaders. If you take the Mom Dami story serious. But anyway, this goes back to what Sidney Powell was saying about Hammer and Scorecard. This is a video that was ignored, that was put out a long time ago. The mainstream media didn't do anything about it. And now it's coming around to be true.
To change votes on the fly, as they are reported by tallying locations in all precincts and counties, whatever applies to your state, as totals are reported via the internet. The data is grabbed in real time, changed, and sent on its way. And this happens in microseconds. I'm not going to go into the technical details of how that happens. Just realize that the data is changed so quickly in the favor of whatever candidate it's told to favor that no one notices a delay and just accepts the total. And this has been going on in numerous states, to include battleground states, during this whole election. And it is still going on as votes are being counted and reported up echelon.
That was a clip that showed the votes reverse, the exact number of votes flipped from Trump. They took away from Trump and put over in Biden's column. That famous clip, right? They did it right on CNN, live.
This evening, lawyer Sidney Powell, the personal attorney of General Michael Flynn, and someone who is known to the President of the United States, appeared on Lou Dobbs this evening and reported this fact. And she added the fact that data has been obtained from the whistleblower who built the capability, Mr. Dennis Montgomery, who was a national hero in this matter, having made this data available. There is forensic evidence showing what data was changed, where it came from, and where it was going to. And a record is kept. That means there is direct, solid evidence of voter fraud perpetrated by the people that are operating this hammer scorecard combination to change the votes of the citizens of this country.
Yep. And if there were foreign governments involved, that is an act of war. An act of war. So now people know why so many countries are playing ball with Trump. Oh, look here. Representative, boy, she's a firecracker. You don't want her on your tail. Representative Mace, Bill Gates must testify on Epstein files. They were talking about cloning research, tests, BIO labs, and the other things I read earlier that the words I can't say, cannibalism, and things like that. We've all seen this picture, but I never saw it in context. How many times have you seen this picture? How many times have you seen this picture of a demon doing story hour with little children's? That's plural, children's. Well, here's somebody put some context to it. Michelle Obama, Neighborhood Library. Was this picture taken actually at Michelle Obama's Neighborhood Library? Because I've already pointed out that their presidency was the nexus for our school system to become radicalized with gender ideology and Marxist thoughts, Marxist philosophy. I get to read to the children today, and it was one of the best experiences I've been given as a drag queen. It's so important to have representation and normalize all the letters I ain't reading all them letters, in everyday lives. I saw so many excited faces, it filled my heart with so much joy and hope to come back again soon. Thank you, everybody who made this opportunity a reality and made such a successful LGBT, blah, blah, blah. And I can't read the rest of it. But anyway, the starting point for all this transgender stuff was the Obamas. In my opinion. I'm just looking around at the chat to see what's going on. Oh, yeah, that's right, Todd. And they were involved in CVID. The manipulation, use a 4 for an A next time on that word. Ha ha. All the human suffering that they've caused. All the division in our society. From everything from the stolen election to the increasing the fear factor during the plan and endemic, putting people at odds with each other. Oh, take a break from all the. Here's the winner of the Westminster Dog.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Ha ha ha! Dobermans are beautiful dogs. They are beautiful.
adventure. And that's history for Best in Show here at Madison Square Garden.
I think they're beautiful dogs. I don't know when the last time a Doberman ever won. Usually it's some little toy-looking dog. But anyway, Citizens Free Press said Republicans finally win one of these. Look at this, folks. Alabama State House 38 special election with 95% of the votes in. The Republican won with 84.7% of the vote. Hazel Floyd, probably on guard with calling ICE agents kidnappers and masked men, and everybody can love whoever they want, barely broke 15%. I think that's indicative of the Democrat Party as a whole. Once we get the SAFE Act paid and we get everybody that doesn't belong in this country the hell out. This is a 28-point overperformance for Republicans from 2024, when the district was Trump plus 42. Well, this person is almost 70% plus. Won by 70%, 69 or 70%. Let's hope that bodes well for the future. What's this one? Inspector General confirms whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard did not appear credible. Too bad we can't go retroactive to that whistleblower. That's how they started all that trouble for Trump. Adam Schiff started it, claiming he had a whistleblower, and Vindman was tied into it. We're going to see Vindman getting court-martialed, I believe, and serve jail time. And I still can't say the whistleblower's name. Eric, I better not say it. I know his name. Got his picture, too. Many of you know who I'm talking about. C.I.A.operative. You know, I'll tell you somebody who's not sleeping good tonight. Where is it? Somebody Trump put on blast. Is this it? Wait a minute. Oh, with the snapback. That's a different subject. Let me see. Yeah. I saw earlier, I think it was Todd, said they need to pass the SAFE Act. SAFE Act. By getting rid of the zombie filibuster. New Thune balks at sidestepping zombie filibuster. What are we going to do with this Thune character? Filibuster in the rules were that you had to actually have somebody physically standing and speaking till they couldn't speak anymore. And that's how Strom Thurmond got a record filibuster. Now they changed it to you just got to be walking around the building and you can be considered filibustering. They would be getting rid of it. They just make them work for it. And John Thune dropped the ball. So we got to do something. We got to get the voter ID passed. But anyway, I want to find that one truth by that Trump put out about a creep that I think isn't sleeping very well. Well, when I come across it, I'll come across it. Let me see. What's this one? Oh, Melania outgrossed 5 2025 Oscar nominees. So they were all making fun of her a few days ago. Now you don't hear nothing because she did so well. And I understand a lot of you enjoyed that video, that movie, documentary. Here we have Trump again. Oh, that was from yesterday or day before yesterday. Sorry. Working with Mike Johnson. He got all that done. Where is that one where he called a guy out for making more money in the stock market than Nancy Pelosi? That's the guy I was saying isn't sleeping too good. I don't know where it is. Let me put up some libs of TikTok stuff. I'll get to it in a minute. This is why radical leftists want to identify ICE agents so badly. They want to threaten their lives and prevent them from arresting illegal aliens, rapists, and terrorists. Breaking a man arrested for threatening and doxing an FBI agent and his family. Using info stolen from federal vehicles. I believe this is the same footage that Midas Trash Network was broadcasting live when they busted that vehicle up. So they actually caught somebody. Look at this one. What are these guys doing? Oh, they're checking out a Costco. 4 individuals arrested in Massachusetts for stealing more than $1 million in food stamps and using 115 stolen identities. There you see their names. I didn't do the show more, but Dominican citizen fraudulently obtained a SNAP card, and I'm sure the other 3 are pretty much. So we got people that shouldn't be in this country just robbing us blind. Proof of it day after day after day. Look at this. How'd you like to be raised by something like this? Leftist mom on TikTok said she'd rather KILL her own children and herself than be arrested by ICE. She then posted another video of herself appearing to purchase a firearm. This is extremely concerning at FBI. I thought I'd never own one, but this country is scary. Do any other moms think this way? Please let me know I'm not alone. Oh, I hope you are very alone. And if not, you will be very alone. Look here. New York poised to legalize medical aid in dying. Well, you know, I am a rather satirical character, but I do want to say, if you're talking about the one in the yellow outfit, hold off. I think she's got at least another 6 months left in her. You don't need to snuff her out. Stephen Miller reposted this by Michael Watley. When he was North Carolina governor, Roy Cooper released repeat offender DeCarlos Brown Jr., who went on to brutally red rum Irina Zarutska aboard the Charlotte Light Rail this past summer. Cooper said the inmates he released weren't violent. That was a lie. He then tried to cover it up. An innocent woman is dead, and her BLOOD is on his hands. Instead of taking responsibility, Cooper's still lying and scrambling to hide the truth. Now, Stephen Miller posted that. And he also posted Mike Johnson saying, today we learn the tragic and horrific murder of Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina was completely avoidable and a direct result of Democrat-run soft-on-crime policies. Is Stephen Miller hinting us that something might happen to that guy, Cooper? They should be held liable. They should be held culpable. That's a word. Culpable. Here we go again. Stuff the mainstream media is not reporting. Not reporting to you. What did this delicate flower do? Her name is, how do you say that? Wow. Nkechi Eze. Nkechi Eze. A Nigerian who was appointed to a state executive committee by Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. You know, the one who suffered that terrible kidnapping. Pleaded guilty to stealing over $1 million through an early childhood education nonprofit. The fraud just keeps getting worse and worse. Can you believe that? And I told you all, they infest anywhere they can get a government check, anywhere they can get involved in some kind of grant program or nonprofit where they get big wages, they do it. But wait, it gets worse. 5 Minneapolis Board of Parks commissioners, you need 5 of them, posted this map of ice spottings to warn illegal rapists to evade ICE and show leftists where to go to dox and harass agents. These people are paid by your tax dollars. Cushy jobs, do nothing, guaranteed checks. You got plenty of spare time, and you can go around pushing your damn radical Marxist crap. They infest our government. State, federal, local, all of them. When they can put their cronies in and their like-minded Marxists. Ha ha, here's somebody else we like to watch too. Back to the main point. The only reason we're seeing people like him, Harry Anton, and a few others on these channels, I think they're being forced to put people in there that aren't creating an echo chamber for mainstream propaganda. I think they're being forced to do it through the Truth and Reconciliation Act.
This morning, as I was preparing the show, I was preparing to report to you all about the neighborhood blockades that are going on in Minneapolis. You've seen the video, I'm sure. These civilians are setting up blockades. You pull up, and they check your license plate. These people aren't police. They're not there in any official capacity, but they check your license plate. This is highly illegal. So I emailed the city of Minneapolis, and I had a simple question. Has anyone been arrested for setting up illegal blockades, for harassing citizens, for apparently having some sort of secret database by which they check whether your license plate belongs to an ICE vehicle? And after some back and forth, with the city of Minneapolis just a moment ago. We got a response from the Minneapolis police. I will read it to you. No arrests have been made. No arrests have been made. Why? Why are civilians in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or anywhere else for that matter, allowed to go out into the street, build a barricade, physically stop other citizens, other people from driving their cars, tell them to roll down their window? I've seen video of people saying, oh, we ran your license plate through a database, and it looks like your car is owned by ICE. We need you to get out of the car. We need to talk to you about this. Let me tell you something right now. If I rolled up on some rinky-dink makeshift barricade and somebody had me roll down my window and said, hey, I need to talk to you about your license plate, well, let me just tell you, I wouldn't be putting it in park. This is not normal behavior.
Yeah, I showed you a video of them doing that and them attacking that young guy, that streamer. But Tom Homan came up and spoke some words. I got some clips of him. And I'm glad to see he's looking more confident. And he's working on his diction. You know, he's speaking low and slow. He gets so passionate about what he's talking about. He talks real fast and kind of people can't keep up with what he's saying, and he doesn't get his words out exactly right. So he's working on that, but he's pulling 700 agents out. So, okay, throw him a bone, I guess. But he's clear that the reason they're doing it is because of the increased cooperation. Those agents aren't needed. You got to remember, Trump surged an extra 2,000 when they started their crap up. So now they're withdrawing 700. So they're down from 3,000 to 2,300. So it's no victory for them. And those 700, I'm sure, would be better used in other places like California.
Sworn duties to enforce immigration law that Congress passed is unacceptable. And it's shameful and incomprehensible to me that this unlawful and threatening behavior is being tolerated by anyone. As far as what I saw yesterday with the roadblocks being set up, you're not going to stop ICE. You're not going to stop Border Patrol. The only thing you're doing is irritating your community and want to go get groceries or pick their children up or whatever. I talked to the chief of police, and he committed to taking swift action on those illegal roadblocks. They're illegal. We shouldn't tolerate them. Again, a complete drawdown is going to depend on the cooperation, continued cooperation of local and state law enforcement, and the decrease of the violence, the rhetoric, and the attacks against ICE and Border Patrol. The federal law enforcement personnel, ICE and CBP and other partner agencies are patriots. And they've carried out their duties patriotically.
Yeah, they're showing them tearing down those blockades, putting furniture, recliners in the street and everything like that. Nobody do anything about it. But he said it's based on their continuing cooperation, not just because they've been helping out and then go back to their old ways again. But I think that here's where he said, I'll listen to it first. I think this one is where he says, you know, if you're not supposed to be here, you're on the table. It doesn't matter. You know, they're trying to get it to where only the violent ones. No, everybody that's not supposed to be here is on the table.
Attorney General Mayor Fry and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities.
Okay, that I didn't hear him say the. I think I have another clip of him where he says you're on the table. If you're not supposed to be here, you're not supposed to be here. That's all there is to that. I come across, I'll play it. But anyway, Jack Posobiec posted that the Washington Post put out an email today. Here it is. Breaking: Washington Post employees have been asked to stay home today and participate in a Zoom call at 8:30 a.m. Widespread layoffs expected. Jeff Bezos runs the Washington Post. And that's exactly what happened. Here's a lady talking about it. What happened? How miserable she is. This is CNN. How miserable everybody is. How terrible people feel. All these going away parties and nice to know ya parties and all that. This is the real war. The information war. That's why I'm up here running my jaws 5 nights a week, hopefully to help others to be effective in the information war, where we give reality and assist in this great awakening without scaring people off or sounding like we've lost our minds. Now we're being vindicated about a lot of stuff we talked about in the past, and we're going to continue to be vindicated. And people are going to be looking at outlets like CNN, like the Washington Post, going, what the hell kind of reporters are you all supposed to be? When this stuff was going on, the election theft, all the crimes that we discussed about Jeffrey Epstein, right under your noses, and you all not only didn't report on, you covered up for them. So anyway, yeah, a lot of them got told to put an egg in their shoe and beat it.
Sally, what is your reaction to these layoffs?
I think the only word I can say is grief. Everybody's in a state of grief. It's really like, in the last year, it's just been one funeral after the other. We've had nothing but going away parties, people being laid off, people taking the buyout, people just quitting. And it's just tragic what's happening to the Washington Post. And there's nobody who doesn't feel that way. It's not just me. It's not just the people at the Post, but it's everybody in journalism. My colleagues at the New York Times are just as upset as anybody because they don't want to see journalism dying, and they certainly don't want to see the Washington Post dying. the Washington Post is an institution, just like the New York Times. And the idea of having the paper just wither away is just so sad.
No, it ain't. And you don't want to see journalism die? It's dead. There is no journalism. We don't have a free press. We have a corrupted press. Trump put out some posts about the New York Times is going to be sucking wind. And I'm sure they're going to get sued too. Oh, here's something I meant to put up the other night. Here's a new report on a biolab that was found. Now they found a couple of them, and they found one 3 years ago. Nobody's been reporting on this stuff. But here's a follow-up to a story that happened a couple of days ago. A bust at over 1,000 different suspected pathogens. Remember those posts I was putting up about some mysterious illness in India that's got an 80% fatality rate and all this creepy stuff? But anyway, here's a report from Brett Baer.
We're learning new details about a home in Las Vegas where authorities found about 1,000 suspected biological samples. These are linked to a Chinese national accused of operating an underground biolab in California 3 years ago. And there are new troubling details from there as well. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse starts us off tonight with this story from Los Angeles. Good evening, William.
Well, Brett, this came out of the blue when reports came in that people started getting sick who actually lived at this residence. They called the FBI, and this is a potentially dangerous situation based on what police find.
Potentially hazardous materials were being stored at a residence. Investigator observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment.
The FBI and local police raided an illicit biolab Saturday in Las Vegas. Renters complained of getting deathly sick from what police suspect were dangerous pathogens in the garage.
More than 1,000 samples were collected.
Investigators say the owner of the lab is 62-year-old Zhu Baizhu, an illegal immigrant from China who also uses the alias David He. Police arrested Zhu in 2023 while running a similar lab in California, containing refrigerators full of COVID, HIV, hepatitis, herpes, and malaria, along with 1,000 genetically engineered mice.
This is putting our national security at risk because no one knows about these labs.
Police arrested Zhu for selling phony COVID test kits, and he's been in custody ever since. But documents suggest he's running the Vegas lab from his jail cell, while also receiving rental income on the property.
How many more labs are like this throughout America?
At the time, congressional investigators said the Chinese Communist Party helped bankroll Zhu's operation.
The millions of dollars running from China to this facility.
Here's FBI Director Kash Patel last night.
Obviously, people look at that and say, is the CCP operating other biolabs in our country?
And look at what this FBI has done. We arrested 3 researchers at the University of Michigan with ties to the CCP for bringing in biologicals and for trying to harm our agricultural seed industry. That is the priority here to protecting our nation's not just secrets, but our agriculture and our citizens' health.
So we are waiting for those FBI test results on the vials in Las Vegas, and based on what they find, say something not benign but potentially deadly like Ebola or smallpox, Zhu could face additional charges. His trial on the phony test kits, Brett, is scheduled to begin in April. Back to you.
Something, William. Thanks you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will talk with Senator.
Don't forget, Epstein was involved talking about different medical procedures and the illness itself. And he was also dealing with Zelensky and other people in Ukraine. So, what are we going to find out? What's going to come up? You know, I watched this. This is a Trump talking about who he would like to see win the Super Bowl. And it makes me think. Well, I'll play it, and then I'll tell you what it makes me think. Ha ha. Come here, microphone.
I have a feeling this is going to be a great Super Bowl. I've watched all season. I've seen these two teams just win, win, win. I see two great quarterbacks, young, great quarterbacks. It's going to be a fantastic Super Bowl, and everybody wants to hear who I pick. And I'll tell you what.
Ha ha ha! He's trolling everybody. But what it made me think was it's going to be bigger than the Super Bowl, right, folks? Bigger than the Super Bowl. Why? It'll make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show. Remember that? And then we just got the Westminster winner. And now we're talking about and the Epstein files coming out. Holy cow. I don't know. Once again, have put a link in the description in the chats for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to help the channel out. I got a video I want to play you all to close out. See how many faces you recognize in this video. How many people are still walking this earth in the video? How many people in this video still have their positions of power? How many people still are involved in criminality and walking around free? How many aren't even alive anymore? But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night if everything goes well. I still got some more stuff in my studio I want to talk about, but we've run out of time. So I hope you all enjoy this video. I may have to take the music out. I don't know. It's got a little music in the background. You know how it goes. So if the video disappears for a while, it's editing music out. But anyway, at least since you're live, you can enjoy the video now. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Could you please give us your name? Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, nice to see you guys. Thank you. See you back home, I hope.